CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
As the weather begins to warm up, and we are assured it will eventually, and with the May long weekend approaching, many people, that is seasonal riders, are getting their motorcycles out of their garages and onto the road, and that includes some of BC's MLAs. There was a rumble at the rock pile this afternoon, the annual tradition at the legislature. May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, and organizers of the event today say 2/3 of all accidents involving motorcycles are caused by the driver of a vehicle not seeing the motorcycle rider.
It's about showcasing, motorcycles, motorcycle safety, but encouraging the rest of the traveling public out there in their vehicles to make sure, pay attention. You have to ride responsibly. And whether you're riding a motorcycle or driving a car or a truck, if you do it responsibly, everybody on the road, including yourself, will be safe. It's the people that are out there, whether you're on a bike or in a vehicle, that if you're going to drive irresponsibly, you're not only going to put yourself at risk, you're going to put other people on the highway. So we're promoting safety here.
It was just earlier this week the province announced sweeping new changes to the way you ride your motorbike, from the kinds of approved helmets you'll be able to wear to how you ride with a passenger. The province says the changing rules will improve rider safety and will save lives. And the government has introduced new driving laws that it says will enhance fairness for drivers accused of being impaired while increasing public confidence. Those changes came about after that BC Supreme Court decision that struck down the law allowing police to issue an immediate roadside suspension to anyone who blew over .08. The changes expand the grounds for appeal. They make it mandatory for police to tell drivers that they can challenge that first roadside test and that the lowest of the two will prevail, and the police must submit documents about the calibration of the roadside breathalyzer device. Well, the ballots are in and your voices have been heard. The list is out. The top 10 worst roads in BC have been listed, and 2 of them are on Vancouver Island. Coming in at number 9 is the Island Highway. The BCAA survey of 3,500 motorists in the province finds that the Malahat's biggest problem is traffic congestion. It's potholes and crumbling pavement that give the Pacific Rim Highway near Port Alberni, south of Clayoquot Plateau Provincial Park, the dubious distinction of making the 10th spot, rounding out the top 10. The worst road, by the way, if you're in the Okanagan and you travel West Side Road in Kelowna, that's where the potholes and the crumbling pavement rank it number 1. Well, Victoria Police need your help tonight. They're trying to locate a 32-year-old man who has been missing for a week now. Police say Daniel Granza's family and his friends are concerned for his well-being. Granza was last seen April 27th when he spent the evening at a friend's home in Fernwood. He has had no contact with anyone since, and he did not show up to work as a painter. Granza is 6 feet in height, has a slender build, short blonde hair, and green eyes. Granza has been known to go on camping and hiking trips in East Souk Park, as well as in Mount Doug Park and on Mount Finlayson. If you have seen Daniel Granza or you have any knowledge of his whereabouts, you're asked to contact Victoria Police. Also tonight, RCMP and Nanaimo are looking for a 15-year-old boy who's been reported missing. Police say Emmett Pelzer left his home in the 5,000 block of Shadow Mountain Road at about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and the boy hasn't been seen since.
As far as I know, everything was going well. There seems to be some indication that he's been using drugs lately, and I'm scared that he sort of got caught up in that world.
Emmett is 6 feet tall, about 150 pounds. He has Justin Bieber-style brown hair and is wearing braces. He was last seen wearing gray blue jeans, red-white shirt, black ball cap, black shoes, and a black Nanaimo Raiders hoodie. He may also be carrying a black backpack. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Emmett Pelzer, you're asked to contact Nanaimo RCMP. RCMP on the West Shore have snuffed out what may have been a potentially explosive situation when police busted 3 men in Langford who were armed with handguns, body armor, and sticks of dynamite. Mounties made the bust April 24th after tailing the suspects to a home on Souk Road. When officers found 3 sticks of dynamite inside, the bomb squad was brought over from Vancouver to dispose of the explosives. The dynamite was 3 centimeters in diameter, 25 centimeters in length, with electric detonators in each stick. Now, those detonators can easily be set off by heat, shock, or static electricity. RCMP said the explosives are used in the mining industry. The RCMP investigation continues. There's no word yet on what charges they will recommend in the case. Well, you no longer have to look for your stop. Next time you're riding a bus around the Capital Region, you'll be able to hear it as well. BC Transit is embracing some good old-fashioned customer service, calling out major stops once again.
Douglas between Johnson and Yates. Thank you. Hello.
Long-time riders will recognize that. It's been more than 30 years since the call-outs were a regular part of riding transit. Streetcars rumbled through the capital last time they were used, and the tradition is back thanks in part to social media. BC Transit put out a tweet asking you how it could improve its service, and the common thread was call out the stops.
You know, this is quite a tourist town, and it's a real advantage to let people who aren't familiar with the system understand, orient themselves a little bit and understand where they are. And of course, people with visual challenges can always use some more information and orientation as to where we are.
I think it's a good idea. Anything that helps the passengers, because nowadays there's a lot of people that you see them, they get into their games and their computers, and on the longer runs they're in the laptops doing work and they just forget where they are.
Gerald was one of the first drivers to complete his training and is celebrating his 25th anniversary with BC Transit. And here's something pretty neat about Gerald. He has counted every single person who has boarded the bus he drives. You'll have to ask him how many. We can say it's more than 1 million, though. And here's a tradition that was once the norm in Victoria that riders can bring back. Some good old-fashioned manners, saying thank you to the driver when you get off the bus. Although, if you ride the bus, you'll notice that a lot of people already do that, and that's a nice touch. Well, Mother Nature has inspired a new ballroom at the Fairmont Empress Hotel. The restaurant, formerly known as Kipling's, has been transformed, and today CTV News got a sneak peek. Say hello to the Ivy Ballroom at the Empress. It's invested more than $500,000 to transform the space, which was designed by a local designer. And at just under 4,500 square feet and with a capacity of up to 280 guests, the Empress says it has created the meeting place on Vancouver Island for weddings, meetings, any sophisticated event or social gathering.
So the room here is like nothing else that's out there in the market. We have our own access to the outside, the exterior, in the secret garden, which is a beautiful private arrival, natural light throughout the place, plush carpeting and very rich decor and original artwork throughout the place as well.
The hotel got hundreds of suggestions as to how to and what to name the new ballroom, and the grand old lady's ivy facade proved to be the inspiration, with many of them calling for the Ivy Ballroom. It opened today. There's a ceremony and a reception underway at this hour as they open it up for good. Well, the 29th annual CFAX 1070 Community Awards were handed out in a different ballroom today, the one on Bear Mountain, as they celebrated those who go the extra mile to help others.
It's our yearly opportunity to recognize people in our community that have done great things in a variety of different capacities, whether it's business, community leaders, sports, teamwork award, all those things. There's so many great stories that people have, and this is our opportunity once a year to recognize those people.
7 awards were handed out, including the Mel Cooper Citizen of the Year Award, which went to Cedric Steele. The Community Leader Award was presented to retired Rear Admiral Roger Gerard. Shaylin Mellors brought home the Youth Leader Award. Arts Leader went to John Vickers. And congratulations go to Commander Jarzabiak, the winner of the Sports Award this year. This year's CFAX Business Leader Award is David Curtis from Viking Air. Teamwork Award went to Deer West Construction Management. Congratulations to all the winners and to everyone who does so much to make a difference in our community. Good evening. Thank you for being here. We begin this hour in Esquimalt, where a woman is living with cancer and is scheduled to undergo a double mastectomy. And she is angry that the BC government is denying her help. The Liberals are taking a beating in the legislature for withholding nutritional supplements. The opposition says the woman needs the surgery, but she is too weak for it right now, and she needs the supplements to get healthy first. The Royal Canadian Legion stepped in to help, but the woman says the government then threatened to claw back her disability payments. CTV's Stephen Andrews on the story. He joins us now live with more. Stephen.
Hudson, we've just returned from an exclusive television interview with the cancer patient. Jolene Gammon has been living with cancer for 12 years. More recently, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and has been living on disability. She's at risk of losing her spleen, and she applied to the government 6 times for help with the nutritional supplements and has been rejected 6 times. And in its last rejection, the Social Development Ministry says a spleen is not a vital organ.
For them not to take responsibility for the last 6 times I've applied for nutritional supplements, and then all of a sudden to find out that somebody's willing to help me and then want to step in and take over, I think that's unfair. I think it's very unfair. That was what they told me on my last rejection, that losing my spleen was not a big deal, that a person could live without their spleen, even though it places a lot of stress on the other organs in the body, that it's not a big deal to lose your spleen.
Well, that response and the fact that Jolene Gammon says the Social Development Ministry threatened to claw back her disability had the opposition on the attack again today.
This is someone, Mr. Speaker, who is seriously ill, who has applied already 6 times. The minister now says one more time. Why won't the minister act today to support Jolene to get healthy once again?
I think this is the most callous and cruel position that this government is demonstrating.
Would you just get out of the way?
I'm not sure what the other side of the House does not understand about the fact that I am indeed looking into this case, Mr. Speaker, but that I cannot comment in the House.
Esquimalt Legion says it cannot believe that the government is getting involved in this, and it says it will ensure the woman gets the help she needs. Now, we just heard from the ministry. It says that it's trying to work with Jolene to make sure that she doesn't receive cash. It says that technically it would have to claw back disability payments. It wants to find a way, Hudson, that she receives the product she needs and not the money. That way, the government says it really could step in and save the day.
All right, we'll stay on the story, Stephen. Thanks.
You're welcome.
We can now tell you the name of the Nanaimo man killed in a fiery crash on the Coquihalla Highway April 29th. The BC Coroner's Service confirms the victim is 44-year-old Darcy Lee Olson. Olson was identified through dental records. It's believed he was returning to Nanaimo after a trip to Alberta when his pickup truck veered off the Coquihalla Highway and crashed into a concrete pillar. A somber anniversary marked in Nanaimo today. 125 years ago, at almost exactly this time, 2 explosions ripped through the #1 Esplanade coal mine, changing the town forever. It was the worst mining disaster in British Columbia history. 150 miners killed, most by asphyxiation, while they waited for help to come from above, help that never arrived. The tragedy scarred the community forever.
It really galvanized Nanaimo. At that time, there was probably about 6,000 people living here, and the effect of the explosion was we had 46 widows and 126 children without a father. A lot of children are pulled out of schools, families left Nanaimo because there was no work.
Support for the people of Nanaimo and offers of help came from as far away as Montreal. A major outpouring of grief as well as donations came from San Francisco, where Nanaimo was exporting tons of its high-quality coal each year. There is a new exhibit on the Nanaimo mine disaster that is now open at Nanaimo's museum.